tell me something that you want to touch upon, which is like currently something which has been seen widely, but which is not one of the good things that we see, and we want to change
Yes.
those things and at least discuss about that. So, ghosting. I can think of ghosting.
Is it ghosting on a date?
No, ghosting on HR, like recruiters
Oh,
actually
how
start
do they
ghosting.
do
And
that?
I have had, I don't know how many people who came back talking to me about ghosting, right? Recruiters contact you like crazy. They want your CV, they want your resume, they want to, and suddenly people are ghosted. I want to certainly touch upon this and have you talk about
Time maybe 10-15 years ago, the HR or the recruiters, to be more precise, were decent enough to tell you what was the process and where are we stuck, why is it not going forward. However, off late, in the last 2-3 years, I've been seeing that they just refuse to take your calls. They refuse to keep you updated.
Yeah.
And I have also encountered HR people who have told me that please don't call us. Ways of looking at it, I have spoken to a couple of HR recruiters, and I myself have asked them this question: why does this happen? So the reason I was given is that, okay, now we have the ATS and we feed in the data that these are the kind of CVs that we want, these are the kind of candidates that we want. So CVs are getting hired, not candidates.
Craze for certification versus actual experience.
I think a certification would be a gateway, for me to kind of, be your employee.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed at this kind of mentality because there have been people, when I was in the job market looking for jobs, there were people who would not understand the difference that a 3-day certification can never be a match to a 4-year full-term degree course. They were like, but we have this requirement for this particular certification. So I have come across people who are from different backgrounds, like they did completely different things. And suddenly they come back doing a 3-day certification in something, and they want to become a professional in that. And funny thing is that they hold a better chance of getting recruited than someone who has probably pursued that for a long time. What kind of mentality is this? And are the recruiters skilled enough to understand, like,
not really, because
experience versus certification? So are you reading a job experience, or are you just going by what the person comes with the certification?
I think majority of them don't even understand what's there in the CV. I mean, like, they really fail to understand. Let me not mince my words here, or sugarcoat it that they are doing a great. Of course, everyone is doing a great job. They have their own pressures at work. But then the basic sanctity of understanding a CV, of reading a CV, understanding where this XYZ person comes from, what kind of experience this person carries, is that's a complete myth. It is just the fixation of having a certification just because it looks good on the JD. However, there are organizations like, I would like to name a few. There are internal certifications where people are asked to get certified or take the certification, pay for the course, clear the course, clear the certification, and then we will pay you back. So that's a different kind of motivation that such organizations.
There's one of the myths about HR, which I think a lot of people have, is HR is a very easy job. HR is the easiest job. It's like you're just organizing parties and just recruit people. So this is actually wrong. HR is not easy. HR is actually a part of, combining the two things of the organization goals, the person's career goals, combining them together. This is where the right person at the right job, and also to ensure there is the proper succession planning and career architecture being done. That is all part of HR. But do you think all HRs, or most of the HRs as today, they're actually thinking like this? because HR is not an easy job. Human resource is one of the very different and difficult areas to manage. Are organizations really taking care of these factors, or is it still in a mode of hire and fire and just a bit of knowledge management done?
There is a trajectory for a linear career. Every organization has that in some pockets or the other. I mean, like, it's not that there they don't have one, they need to have one, they have to have a career architecture. But then I've still not experienced organizations who have scope or who have thought beyond linearity. They haven't thought about, having a non-linear career path, because people explore that skill, which really makes a person come, full on, or, express himself the way he or she wants to express. So non-linear career path, I have really not, I have heard about non-linearity maybe in organizations abroad. A lot of organizations who do hire people who don't come from that background, but for the fact that this person brings in the diversity of skills, this person brings in a different mindset, and a team has to be diverse. Imagine in a team if you have everyone,
all yes men,
all yes men, all MBAs from the same institute. Okay.
Yes.
Imagine what will happen.
Yeah, and the other thing, again, I wanted to also mention about this institutions, the name of the institutions and the thing about that. That person has to come from a premier B school.
Well, that is more to do with the alumni. I wouldn't want to use the word mafia, but then yes, alumni mafia does exist, and we all know where it leads to. So you hire birds of feather flock together, and I don't mince my word when I say that. It does.
I feel a little awkward and I feel a little bad about these things, because like I was talking to you the other day and talking about this gentleman I knew. He was a senior colleague, fantastic gentleman. He hardly could complete his graduation because of a family. His father died when he was young, and he had a tough time completing his education. But practical skills, amazing. Working knowledge, amazing. B school, no. Did he really have a good, did he have a real good college name for his graduation? No. But practical sense, working knowledge, and oh my God, amazing. Now,
attitude.
Right attitude, aptitude, everything. Now, what if he applies for a job and people are only looking for fancy names?
Yes,
now that's sad, because I knew I'm working with this gentleman. I knew he was an amazing person. Like, he would guide everyone all around him. But fancy names were missing. And then there were few people who would come with those fancy B school names, and they would get hired with a salary or whatever, but they probably would not come with that strong or working knowledge. So are the HR people really paying attention to these? Stepping beyond the typical framework of questions, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Why do you want to work with us? The typical
interview.
Change that, but are you stepping beyond that scripted interview? Is also something I like us to discuss, and would hope people are engaged to share their thoughts too. Have also heard this thing from you about, is probably your same friend or someone else, where after 20 years of experience they were said, you don't have hands-on experience.
Yes, yeah.
Exactly what does a person mean by that when they have, and I'm not saying this is just one person, I'm sure there's many of us who have experienced that. Like, somebody asked me once, you have been in this field for like 16 plus years, and then your previous designations don't read change management. I was like, darling, the word change management did not exist 16 years back. It was all under HR and training and OD. OD came in later. That's where we started using different phases. Change management is a term that is being used in the last decade.
The last 1.5 years of the COVID, that's when you talk about digital, you talk about employer branding, but you look at the experience that is asked in employer branding, 10-15 years.
Yeah, and funny part is that the recruiters, they don't understand that the terms have started coming up, very lately, but you just need to read the job description. How many times have you or any of your contacts come back telling you about these things that they were asked what was on their CV when they were getting interviewed? Like, did you not read my CV?
Exactly.
So I find this very funny. So if someone asks me, can you please tell me something about yourself? I don't need my CV because you're expected to read that. That's your pretty job when you have called me for an interview. So I'll tell you something beyond that, which will tell you more about my nature, skills and traits, which you will find if that's a match to you.
Off late, I have started asking the HR and the recruiters and the hiring manager, ask me something which is not there on my CV. Maybe I'll be in a better place to explain you where I come from and why I do what I do, what kind of projects. Ask me about my projects that I've worked on. Don't ask me what I have done for the last 10 years. Like what I have repeatedly done for the last 10 years. Don't ask me those questions.
Of the practices, because HR is a critical role. I mean, I know we are not typically HR people, but we work closely with them. So want to discuss this piece because there are practices which are there, and it's quite trending, as if I have to say it this way, but are the bad HR practices. And I think that's earning the HR folks a very bad. Ghosting being one, not having a proper exit interview is another. I mean, I think that's something people don't realize is the clarity that every candidate has.
Shrabonee, exit is still, exit interview is still, the life cycle of an employee. Imagine, I mean, like you are in that hiring funnel where you have discussed a CV, you have discussed the opportunity, you have had 3 to 4 rounds with the person, and there is a complete radio silence with no closure. That's not a great place to be in. Really.
Exactly.
Earlier boss, my ex-boss, she used to practice this consciously. So whenever there used to be a candidate who would come for an interview, she would herself tell the person, okay, this is my number. Call me up if you don't hear back from HR. Or if you don't hear back from my team, not even HR, okay? If you don't hear back from my team in the next 1 week, call me up. And yes, she used to get calls from people who were not selected, and then she used to share her feedback. This is what happened during the interview, during the interview process. These were the highs and these were the lows. Maybe you might want to improve on this. So she took time out to discuss with the person why did the person did not make it and how he or she can, help themselves take up a course. But then, of late, you also see a trend which I call it as a diaper experience. So you are about 20-25 and you want
20
this
years
person to have 20 years of experience, 20 years old with 30 years of experience. And I call it as a diaper experience.
Like,
what do you expect?
Age expectation, person should be between 25 to 30
25 to 30.
and should come with 15 years of experience. Like 15 saal mein they would be working. What do you expect?
और फिर साथ में वो सारा प्रीमियम का भी टैग है, इसी प्रीमियम से ही होना है.
Premiums का tag है, and internship doesn't count because it is internship. Then what comes in is actually the other part is what comes in is that human beings, they come with an ego, right, which is natural. So suddenly they think, oh, I am this level, I'm a VP, I'm a director, I'm whatever. And then what happens is that if they are recruiting our level comparatively is junior but comes with better experience, then they have this thing, how can a person be better than me? So, and chronological seniority is not actually experiential seniority. So that is also something which people should understand, because I think there have been organizations, there have been people who had discussed this sometimes, that there is this 28-year-old who joined this organization 5-6 years ago, and I am probably, somebody is telling me I'm a 35-year-old. I have been working in this organization for 10 plus years. He is getting promoted just because he did this, and I'm actually a senior. I'm the older guy. So this mentality that you are promoted not because of your chronological age, but because of the contributions and because of your performance, so there are people who are skilled and have that practical experience and contributions made to the organization to rise to a good level at a younger age also. So
culture, yeah, the coterie culture where you have your boss who kinds of joins this organization, and then 2 months down the line he gets his own people who were there with him in the previous organization, and the third month again there will be a few people who join this person, and that's how you create your own
Ecosystem.
your own a kind of a system where you know that you have these people who are there for you always. So they may or they may not qualify for the job, but they are there because
The other.
the history,
Right.
you have worked with them in the past, and yeah, I think organization also need to take a very serious call as to say, if I'm hiring someone from my previous organization on recommendation, is it really worthwhile? Is it really is a talent really a match for my organization that I need this person in, or is it because of the recommendation? Two things looking at it.